You're watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. You want to see me turn Super Saiyan? Or should I take it to the next level? I'm also the narrator too. Next time on Dragon Ball Z, make sure and smash subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
With Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 56 looming over the horizon, scheduled to be released in English tomorrow, we have additional spoilers in regards to Moro's arrival on Earth, in direct ties with our heroes having to battle against the likes of Shimoreka, 7-3, and many of Moro's goons on Earth when they arrive, to in which we are going to be showcasing the entire manga chapter in English on tomorrow's video. So if of course you guys want to find out everything that happens in this manga chapter tomorrow, then I do encourage you guys to smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. That way you guys can be alerted whenever that video goes live tomorrow, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if of course you guys are simply stoked, ready, and excited to find out what happens in this manga chapter going forward, as right off the bat from the very beginning, Moro and his men end up arriving on Earth, and apparently enough Moro's men are scattered all around the world. However, with Shimoreka having to be shown greeting Gohan and Piccolo, it would appear that this entire manga chapter is going to solely focus on the synergy and the teamwork that Piccolo and Gohan have following their first encounter with Shimoreka and of course 7-3. What Shimoreka ends up doing is buying enough time for 7-3 to actually get behind Piccolo and Gohan, and what 7-3 ends up doing is stealing Gohan and Piccolo's abilities, just as we've seen be done before, because manga chapter number 56 appears to be the definitive and final rematch between 7-3, Piccolo, and Gohan, given their previous battle having to be basically cut a tad bit short. So with 7-3 having to sneak up behind Piccolo and Gohan, he takes everything. He takes their skills, their techniques, their powers. 7-3 has everything locked, ready, and stored within his memory, and essentially enough is ready to wage war against Piccolo and Gohan at any given moment by having to use their own abilities against them. However, on the other side of the planet, we actually get to see for the first time in a very long time how Yamcha is being put to use in battling against Moro's men. So what's most interesting about this is the fact that we're getting Resurrection F kind of vibes, with everyone having to battle Moro's cronies, and Yamcha is doing just that by protecting an entire city. And based on what we see with Yamcha is actually holding his own, as well as some of the other galactic patrollers that are in fact with Yamcha currently. So we get to see how Yamcha easily, he's not a meme in this manga chapter because he easily disposes of Moro's men by having to one-shot all of them by himself. So with Yamcha having to do this, one could only assume that perhaps he did off-screen training, or he did something to better prepare himself in this battle, because who would have thought Yamcha would even do anything to begin with? But this is significant character development coming from Yamcha that we haven't seen be done in Dragon Ball Super or even in Dragon Ball Z for a very long time. So just like we've seen be done during the Cell games and during the Saiyan saga, we get to see how other characters are getting the spotlight for once, in the fact that even though Moro's cronies are kind of fodder, we get to see how Yamcha nonetheless is still making easy work of them. As only then we go back to Gohan and Piccolo, and what I really enjoy about this manga is the fact that we get to see how Gohan and Piccolo arguably are working a lot better here than how they originally did in the Tournament of Power, and that's crazy to even think about considering the circumstance. But Gohan and Piccolo really do end up doing a great deal of damage to 7-3 than one would assume, because with Piccolo having to use the Makanko Sanpo and with Gohan having to use the Matsenko, it's pretty cool to see how they're both aligned as they fire these things directly at 7-3. So this entire manga chapter is going to focus on the premise of Gohan and Piccolo getting the job done against 7-3, which again, we are going to have the full English translations on the channel tomorrow. So if you want to find out what happens and get the full translations, then I do encourage you guys to come back tomorrow to find out what happens. But with Piccolo and Gohan, I want to get your thoughts as to how you guys feel about this, because at a certain point in time, we also get to see how 7-3 gets hit with such a collision, right? He gets hit with such a blast, with such force, that it seemingly enough creates like a nuclear explosion, right? The entire landscape is shaking. 7-3 is barely clinging on to life, and because he has Piccolo's regeneration, that is the only reason why he is still alive, because at a certain point in time, with Piccolo and Gohan having to combine their attacks, 7-3 is shown literally on the ground, defeated. Half of his face is torn, his arm is missing, so the dude really got beat in this fight so bad to the point where it seems like 7-3 has absolutely no hope. So at a certain point in time, however, 7-3 ends up surviving by using his regeneration ability, and with Shimoreka ordering for 7-3 to use Moro's ability, we then get to see how he immediately shifts from Piccolo to Moro, and right then and there we get to see something very interesting happen in the fact that 7-3 is sticking his hands out, right? And it looks like he wants to steal some energy, because that's exactly what Moro does. But instead, the two individuals that he points his hand to isn't Piccolo and Gohan. In fact, these two individuals come swooping on in, and they end up kicking Shimoreka and 7-3 directly in the face, and those two individuals just so happen to be Android 17 and Android 18. So, in case you guys are wondering, yes, the androids have just joined the battle, and with 7-3 and Shimoreka having to be knocked back easily by 17 and 18, one can only assume that they have something in mind in terms of having to drag this fight on in securing their position for victory here, because Shimoreka and 7-3 literally don't stand a chance in surviving, especially with the four of them having to oppose them. So they have to come up with a plan if they want to survive, otherwise 7-3 and Shimoreka are basically going to be destroyed. And then, only then, we get to see how prior to all of this, how 7-3 is beginning to use more of Gohan's attacks. He's just launching blast after blast after blast after trying to mimic Gohan's abilities. So during this initial battle, 7-3 is trying to shift between using Piccolo's attacks, Gohan's attacks, and at a certain point in time, it kind of gives him the edge, but Piccolo and Gohan are so much in sync that literally 7-3 doesn't have a chance of surviving. As earlier on, we get to see how Piccolo unleashes a massive special beam cannon that is literally seen from a very far distance, as of course all of the Z fighters are fighting in different locations, and given the fact that even they could see Piccolo's special beam cannon in the sky, 7-3 ends up getting hit with such force that his entire left side is literally blown to pieces, right? His left arm is missing, coincidentally enough, just like how Vegeta had blown away Cell's arm by using the final flash. So this fight with 7-3, Gohan, and Piccolo is going to be one where they're trying to settle the score, right? So this is going to be a fight of determination, this is going to be a fight of persistency, because 7-3 is a very persistent character. He really goes after Piccolo and Gohan in this manga quite a bit. So to see 7-3 take their abilities, to see 7-3 take their powers and then try to use that against them, only for Gohan and Piccolo to counter that and then ultimately end up besting him, I think is a very, very good trope for the two of them, just considering how well they work together. And then finally, towards the end of the manga chapter, we have Moro and Sagambo, and let me tell you something, Moro does not seem to worry, Moro is not concerned, Moro is in fact observing everyone fighting, and he seems to be getting a kick out of it, right? So Moro doesn't seem to be alarmed, he doesn't seem to be worried, because he's smiling, and by the end we get to see how he finally gets up off of his chair, with Sagambo having to stand there, because keep in mind, Sagambo is supposed to be his second in command, so Sagambo hasn't fought, neither has Moro, and one can only assume now that in the next chapter in February, we're finally going to see Sagambo and Moro step in and fight against 17, 18, Piccolo, Tien, Yamcha, Gohan, Chaozu, Jocko, and the rest of the Galactic Patrol all by themselves, because if 7-3, Yumba, Shimoreka, and the other criminals are getting bested, then the only ones left literally are Moro and Sagambo, and with Moro having to observe this, he seems to be more amused than he is scared, so that is very terrifying considering the fact that even if they jump this dude, he could still take their Genki. And then by the end we get to see how Vegeta is also talking to the head Yardrat that had taught him so much in terms of learning instant transmission and other techniques and abilities that could serve Vegeta a purpose in this fight. And Vegeta seems to be rattled. He seems to be, I don't know if he's tired, I don't know if he had completed his training, but there's something going on to where this person ends up informing Vegeta about what Moro is doing on Earth. So with Moro actually getting there, I'm only assuming that it's a race against time. It's going to be Goku and Vegeta trying to do everything they can to get back home, because we also get to see, as you guys can see here, that Goku's trying to get back home. Goku is trying to find his way back home, but he doesn't know how to navigate the Galactic Patrol ship, so he's just visiting random planets. We get to see how he's visiting some octopus, squid-like planets where these people are talking to Goku, and yes, they do resemble the exact same Galactic Patrol King that we saw in the Universe 6 arc. Even though I don't think it's the same species, it just goes to show that Goku has no idea where he's going. The only problem I have with this final scene is, can't Goku just use instant transmission to get to King Kai, or use instant transmission to get to, you know, Otherworld, or use instant transmission to get to the Supreme Kai homeworld, just far enough for him to go back to lock onto Earth, then use that to get home? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I think it's just made for plot convenience purposes. Of course, maybe Goku is very far off to where he can't lock onto anything, but then that would only assert the narrative that no matter where he is, he can't even lock onto King Kai's planet. So I don't know where he is. All that's really specified is that he's really trying to find his way back home. Now, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below as to who you guys think is going to make it back home first. Is it going to be Vegeta, or is it going to be Goku? Are we going to get Moro versus Vegeta first, or are we going to get Moro versus Goku first? Because I really doubt that both of them are going to arrive on Earth at the exact same time. This is not Resurrection of F, so one is bound to make it before the other, but the question is, who? To where by the end, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below about the rematch with Gohan, Piccolo, and 7-3, to see the inclusion of the androids, to finally see Moro step up and do something by the end, to where it's seemingly looking like he's going to get up and actually put in some work. And I want to get your overall thoughts on how this is going to go involving Goku and Vegeta, who's going to make it to Earth first. Again, we are going to be covering the entire manga chapter on the channel tomorrow in English, so of course, if you guys don't want to miss out on that, then I do encourage you guys to subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Give this video a big fat thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys are just stoked to see this, because it's very rare to see everyone come together like this, other than the TOP and the ROF arc, which was very lackluster, and I think that a lot of people will agree in saying that this is what the ROF arc should have been, in having big time battles like this go down. But we're going to be getting that for the next installment, which is going to be tomorrow, and I hope you guys are stoked, ready, and excited for that. Now, to give you guys one final word on two things. Number one, in case you guys are wondering, yes, we are going to be getting Mastered Ultra Instant Goku for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I do believe that announcement should be in about 2 weeks or so in terms of release date. It's going to be included for Season 3, I believe. So with MUI Goku coming to FighterZ, we can only assume that he's not going to be alone. He's probably going to be joined by another character. So MUI Goku is the first of many, and I do believe that that announcement date should be roughly around February 3rd all the way up until February 8th. So make sure you guys keep your eyes and ears peeled out for that. So of course, as you guys can see on screen, this is the official scan for MUI Goku in FighterZ. Now, lastly, I want to give you guys information on the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot giveaway that I'm doing on my channel that I've stated on my previous video, and I'm going to be announcing the winner of the PS4 version on my Twitter. So if you guys are not following me on Twitter, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at UnrealEntGaming. I will be making the announcement there. I'm going to be choosing randomly, and then after I do the PS4 giveaway, I'm going to be giving away a copy for Steam for the PC. I think that is a lot easier to gift to somebody, and I'm just doing it just to give back. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Remember, tomorrow we are going to be covering the manga in English, so make sure you guys come back for that. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys. Peace. And a quick little reminder before you guys go, if you guys are unaware, I do have a second gaming channel located down in the description box below, so be sure to head on over to Unreal Royale and hit that subscribe button along with turning on all notifications, as to there, you guys will find all different kinds of gaming content that you will not get to find on UnrealEntGaming, titles and video games such as Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Z Legends, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi Tenkaichi 3, Minecraft, Blair Witch, and many other retro games on that channel. So if you guys are into gaming, then make sure you guys subscribe over on Unreal Royale. I want to thank you all so much for your time, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up, on? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Frieza.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
But once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate! Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarot!